learning goals. All right. The main thing, one of the main goals will cover themes and central ideas. Okay? What we will do, what we're trying to get to is analyzing themes and central ideas. You know what themes are, right? What is that? What is a theme?
Themes are like the main ideas of the story.
The central ideas, just another way of saying it, including how they interact and build on one another to produce a complex account. Some poems are pretty complicated, and so that's all we're saying here. We're going to analyze some complex poems and just break them down so that we can understand what they're all about. Okay? We will perform basic processes. Some poems have more than one thing, like, for instance, there might be a poem about love and marriage. There's two things right there. Okay? We will recognize and recall specific terminology, similes, metaphor, imagery, hyperbole. That all deals with figurative language. Iambic pentameter, that's a meter of poetry. The speaker, that's who's talking in the poem. Quatrain, octave, sextet, and passion. Okay? Now you've looked up these words, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've heard of them. Even if you can't just tell me what they are right now, you are familiar with them. So we will learn them in more detail. Okay, now with the figurative language, we're going to determine the meanings of words and phrases as they're used in the text, in the poem. And that includes the figurative and connotative meaning. What is the connotative meaning? That's it. Your own words. Right. You do that every day, not every day, but every time we do BAV, right? You do a connotative meaning. So we're going to look at that. We are going to analyze the impact of word choices. Poetry is all about multiple meanings, being ambiguous, right? That's something you learned last week. Language that's fresh, engaging, and beautiful. Poetry is beautiful, right? Yeah. At least the kind that we're going to read. We're going to analyze how the author uses and changes or refines the meaning of some of his terms. We're going to again perform basic processes such as we're going to demonstrate the understanding of figurative language, the relationships with the words within the poetry, and the little nuances that the word meanings have. We will interpret the figures of speech. So when we get a metaphor or simile, hyperbole, we are going to break it down so that we understand exactly what they're talking about. Now here's what you're going to do to learn these goals. First of all, are you all clear on what we're doing on the learning goals?
That's right.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to study vocabulary, which we've already started. We're going to analyze poems. Have you ever done TP casting?
Never heard of it.
Okay. That's where we actually analyze the poem, and that's an acronym. TP cast, it stands for number one, title. P, paraphrase. C, connotative. A, attitude. S, the shift in the poem. T, the theme, and then T, again, back to the title. So that's what we're going to use when we're analyzing the poetry. And I've got a little worksheet for you that I'm going to go through with you. Okay, we'll be comparing and contrasting. We have a couple of poems that we're going to compare and contrast. We're going to write some poems. And we're going to have an open mic. And of course, you're going to have your homework. I've got some handouts. We're going to use the workbooks that are over there on the shelf for our homework assignments. I think I have enough for all of you. Okay? Now, the evidence of learning our assessment on this is going to be your original poems. You're going to explain your theme, and you are going to use figurative language. And if you need to rap it, raps are accepted. Okay? Because that's just another form of poetry, right? Right. And then you will be analyzing a poem on your own. All right, here's what we're going to look at. The very first poem that we are going to look at is one of the most beautiful poems I think ever written. One that I love. It's The Passionate Shepherd to His Love. And that's by Christopher Marlowe.
Miss Griggs.
We are going to cover the nymph's reply to the shepherd by Sir Walter Raleigh. We're going to look at To His Coy Mistress by Andrew Marvell. Now, I'm a little partial to the love poems, as you can see, because all of these have to do with love, but I'm a romantic, so.
I like them too, don't feel bad.
So, if you have something different that you want to look at, we can do that too. Okay, then we're going to look at some poetry by Alicia Keys, Tupac Shakur. You know who Tupac is. All right. Have you heard of Mona Lake Jones?
Yeah.
She has one of these poems that if you go to church, every church in the city, in the country probably has read this poem about black women and their hats.
Yes. Yes.
You know.
They didn't play like that in my church.
We're going to look at that one. Okay, Nikki Giovanni, one of my favorites. We're going to look at Nikki. In fact, that's what I was trying to pull up for our BAV word today. We're going to listen to her poem, Ego Tripping. Now, that one's not about love, but it's about womanhood and how great she is. So we'll hear that one. And then we're going to look at the king of figurative language for today, one of your poets. Who do you think that is? He's the king of metaphors. No, he's alive. Young. Somebody you guys, Lil Wayne. Better than Lil Wayne.
I have one.
Who?
Jill Scott.
Jill, oh, I forgot Jill. I meant to put her on the list. Add that one to the list. Jill Scott. We're going to do Jill. And then your favorite poet. Bring in one of your favorite poets. Okay. Any questions? Is that clear what we're doing over the next? This is probably going to take us through spring break.
Okay.
So we've got today, the rest of this week, and next week. We'll do 2 days of open mic next week. I'll start thinking about that. Open mic is good? Yes, we're going to do it in here. All right.